What's the biggest secret you've been hiding from your partner? Before we start, don't forget to subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like and comment something related to the topic. Let's begin. Story 1. I have a box of little crochet critters in the garage that I make when I'm bored or in between clients. I told my fiancée that if anyone at work would like one, she's a hospice nurse, she can just take them from the box, no questions asked. That's what I told her anyway. The secret is that I purposely make things for her to take. I even have a little spreadsheet so I can track which animals and colors are the most popular, and I make sure there are always extras. Obviously, I don't know who they go to because of confidentiality, but I try to make as wide a variety as I can. Story 2. I don't think his youngest son is actually his. The story about how this child came to be is very suspicious. Between his vasectomy reversal and how low he said his count was, combined with the fact that he caught the boy's mom cheating around the same time they were trying, and how quickly she came back with the paternity results, it all feels off. 13 years later, whenever we talk about his youngest, he always mentions how much they look alike. I just agree. But honestly, this kid looks nothing like him or his other two children. My boyfriend is 5 feet 7 inches, with blue eyes, black hair, and a lean build. The youngest is already over 6 feet tall, with brown eyes, brown hair, and a bit of a chubby build. His mom is very slim, with blue eyes and blonde hair. He wanted to get everyone a 23andMe test for Christmas, but I talked him out of it. I think it would completely ruin Christmas for him if the truth came out. Story 3. Our 10th anniversary is coming up in January. We got engaged 10 years ago last week with a ring that looked nice, but was the best I could afford at the time. We're not wealthy, we're both educators, but we've moved up enough on our district salary schedules and paid off some of our bigger debts. So, for our 10th anniversary, I'm giving her a new ring that costs about 5 times more than the original and definitely looks it. 5 months to go until I can finally show her. Story 4. I have a large, secret candy stash hidden deep in my closet, hoarding it like a little candy dragon. I love him, of course. I even keep some chocolates in the freezer that he can have whenever he wants, and I share certain kinds I buy, in small doses. But I keep all my really good stuff locked away because he would absolutely inhale everything within a week. If I tell him to replace it, he will, but sometimes it takes him a few days, and I don't want to wait 3 or more days for a candy refill. Some of the things he's eaten are hard to find, like certain sugar-free gummies I've had to track down in 3 or 4 different stores, or international treats only sold at one market nearby. So he won't replace them, just reimburse me, which is nice but still annoying because I have to go hunt them down again. He's thin and fit, so he feels zero guilt about downing half a bag of candy in one sitting, but I'm losing weight and really cherish the sweets I have occasionally. It drives him a little crazy that it can take me 5 months to finish a bag of Dove chocolates. LOL. I even still have some Easter candy left in my stash. Of all the flaws someone could have, this one isn't so bad. He at least tries to replace or reimburse. But honestly, it's just easier to keep my sweets to myself and share in small portions. Story 5. We both recently got into Magic: The Gathering. For me, it was a return after 25 years of not playing, and for her, it was completely new. We were both looking for a hobby to enjoy together, something to help us take our minds off the devastating 2 years we had just fought through. It was 2 years filled with a cancer diagnosis, heartbreaking surgeries and doctor visits, the loss of her 2 dogs, they were like her children, all while she was trying to finish the final year of her PhD in cancer research, of all things. Anyway, the cataloging, sorting, playing, trading, and collecting seemed to bring her a kind of peace, a quiet place where she could focus on something else and start to heal. She even played in her first tournament at Gen Con. She jumped in with both feet, and opening booster packs or finding valuable cards lit her up in a way I hadn't seen since we started our battle against cancer. The only problem was that she never seemed to have my luck when it came to finding rare cards, and with the latest set being totally her thing, small, cute animals, she wanted them all. So, I ordered a bundle of collector boosters and bought the very expensive raised foil rabbit card she'd been searching for. I carefully opened a booster, slipped it inside, and resealed it well enough that she wouldn't notice. Watching her open that pack, hearing her voice tremble, seeing her hands shake, watching the flicker of panic that she might damage the card turn into pure joy, was incredible. I felt a small pang of guilt, but I'll take that secret to my grave. She still thinks she got insanely lucky pulling such a rare card. It was a small thing, but it meant the world to her. Story 6. One of the biggest secrets I ever kept from my partner was about a time in my life before we met. A few years earlier, I had been struggling financially and ended up accumulating a significant amount of debt just trying to stay afloat. By the time I met my partner, I was finally starting to get back on my feet, but I was too embarrassed to admit how bad things had been. I kept telling myself I'd wait for the right moment to tell them. But as our relationship grew, so did my fear of their reaction. It wasn't just about the money. I was afraid they'd see me differently, as someone who didn't have it all together. I knew honesty is crucial in a relationship, but I kept putting off the conversation, convincing myself I'd tell them once things were more under control. Carrying that secret was heavy. Every time we talked about the future or made plans, I felt a stab of guilt, knowing I wasn't being completely honest. There were moments when I almost blurted it out, especially when we discussed big financial decisions, but I always held back, afraid of what might happen. Eventually, I realized the secret was eating away at me, and it wasn't fair to either of us. When I finally confessed, I braced myself for anger or disappointment, but instead, my partner just listened. They were far more understanding than I could have ever expected, and together we came up with a plan to manage everything. It was a huge relief, but I'll never forget how hard it was to carry that burden, or how much easier it would have been if I'd just been honest from the beginning. It taught me that in a strong relationship, it's always better to face the tough conversations early before they turn into something much bigger and harder to handle. Story 7. A few weeks ago, I placed a mobile McDonald's order through the app to get breakfast for our son, using a discount. My husband was going to pick it up on his way home. I ordered him the big breakfast with hotcakes. Our son eats the hotcakes and hash browns, and my husband eats the rest. When he got home, he was upset because he'd had to argue with the lady at McDonald's to get the hotcakes we supposedly ordered and paid for. She kept insisting we didn't order hotcakes, and he kept insisting we did. Eventually, they gave him the hotcakes and apologized. Later, I discreetly checked my order in the app and realized I actually hadn't ordered the hotcakes, just the regular big breakfast. I will never tell him it was my mistake. I'm taking that one to my grave. But honestly, I do wish I could apologize to the lady at McDonald's. Story 8. I know she lies to me about her self-worth. The truth is, she feels inadequate and undeserving. Most days, I can see her silent struggle, and I just try to make her feel safe, healthy, heard, and desired. I only talk to her about her anxiety and depression when she brings it up. Sometimes, I envy her therapist because I want to be the hero she needs. I guess that means I feel inadequate too. Her suicide attempt last year still haunts me. She was taken to a psychiatric facility after I wrestled the blade out of her hands while she begged me to let her end her life. That moment replays in my head every day, and I've never told anyone because I want that memory to disappear. We've been together for 30 years, married for 24, with 6 children. We've reached our highest goals in education, success, and love, but now, declining health is starting to catch up to us. Story 9. I think he's a terrible parent and dog owner because he's too afraid to correct bad behavior, and because of that, I don't want to move in with him or his poorly behaved crew. There are too many examples to list, but here are a few. His first grader still wears diapers at night because she's too lazy to get up and go to the bathroom. Her mother's fine with it, too. One of his dogs uses a towel on the floor as its personal bathroom because he refuses to correct the behavior or monitor its water intake. This dog will literally drink a gallon of water in one go, then whine to go outside every 10 minutes, only to immediately come back in and start drinking again. The cycle just continues. He jumps up every single time to do whatever the dog wants, never once saying no. It's honestly pathological. His house smells awful, and the dog is unbearable to be around, constantly whining, pacing, and making noise. We'll let it in from outside, and it'll immediately pee or poop on the floor. His older kids have zero responsibilities. His son is a senior in high school with a car, but he's never had a part-time job and only occasionally takes out the trash. He doesn't mow the lawn, take care of the dog, do dishes, or help with any normal chores. They all have to be cooked for every night. Apparently, his freshman and senior can't even make a sandwich or a bowl of soup for themselves. One time, We went to a concert right after work, and he asked his son to feed the dogs and let them out. When we got home, there was a disgusting mess, unfed dogs, piles of poop, and puddles of urine everywhere. And he had the nerve to thank his son for taking care of the animals before cleaning it all up himself instead of making his kid do it. His middle daughter won't even respond when spoken to. A simple hi, or what do you want for dinner, X or Y, gets nothing but a smirk and silence. He excuses it with, oh, that's just how she is. She even does it to family. The kid isn't neurodivergent. She's just never been told. When someone speaks to you, you answer. Her manners are awful. And his youngest, she's very overweight and eats more than 2 adults combined because neither he nor her mother will say no when she goes for her 6th slice of pizza, because she'll whine and throw a fit. Manners aren't enforced. She doesn't say please or thank you. Chews with her mouth open, throws full-on tantrums when she doesn't get her way, and leaves huge messes because I told her to clean up and she just didn't. She's allowed to bother people at gatherings without being corrected. I'm at a loss. These kids are going to turn out terribly, especially the youngest, because he's too weak and indifferent to actually parent them. They're good kids deep down, but seriously, man, parent them. Set limits. Help the youngest develop healthy eating habits before it turns into lifelong health problems. Teach her to get up and use the bathroom at night. Establish rules and expectations for behavior. And don't even get me started on his awful, screeching, untrained dog. I'm beyond frustrated with his inability to speak up or take control of anything. Damn, it feels good to finally get that off my chest. Story 10. I'm still afraid he's going to break up with me again. Our relationship has a lot of issues, mostly little things that shouldn't matter so much but still bother me, like the fact that I'm kinkier than he realizes. I really want things to work out between us, but I can't ignore the feeling that they probably won't. The biggest issue is that he wants kids. He says he loves me more than the idea of having them. And we're both in our 30s, so that window is closing for him realistically. But after the last time he broke up with me over this, I just don't believe him anymore. We dated 10 years ago, and he later admitted that the entire time he hadn't been taking me seriously. Then, before breaking up with me back then, he spent a month and a half acting like the perfect boyfriend, only to completely blindside me when he ended things. We got back together this past February. Now, I have this additional issue where anytime he does something nice that makes me happy, my immediate thought is, are we about to break up again? Instead of just enjoying the gesture, I spiral. The only small comfort is that he doesn't put in much effort very often, so he rarely triggers that feeling in me. Story 11. I'm planning to propose to my husband. This might be a long story, but I think it's worth sharing. I'm disabled, and in true historic gay fashion, we haven't been able to be married on paper because it would mean I'd lose my disability benefits, as most disabled people do when they legally marry. He can't afford to support both of us, so we live separately, and it sucks. When we got engaged, there was no big proposal. It was more like a long, heartfelt conversation spread out over a few days. He's always said he's happy with that he doesn't need something fancy, but I know he's always dreamed of it since he was a kid and just accepted it because he loves me. So, I've been secretly planning a proposal and a wedding gift. When we were looking at rings for a future ceremony, he mentioned how much he loved a particular design from a small artist and hoped she could remake it someday when we could afford it. We had already gotten sized for cheap Amazon bands, but I kept procrastinating on ordering them. The next day, I contacted that artist, sent her photos, chose an opal from her supply, we're doing birthstones, and paid for the ring using savings from collecting cans. It should arrive next week. We're friends with a couple who own a photography business. They've photographed us before for their engagement, elopement portfolio using a fake engagement shoot. I reached out to one of them, and she's been helping me plan everything. We told my husband it's another shoot for their portfolio, not an engagement, just some couples photos. We picked a location with a breathtaking view of Mt. Hood in the background, and there should be a little snow that day. I'm a level 3 paraplegic with almost no feeling or movement below my navel. But he doesn't know that I've been secretly selling artwork to pay for private occupational therapy sessions. We share a physical therapist and have joint appointments, so I couldn't just stop showing up without raising suspicion. My only goal in those sessions has been to learn how to kneel on one knee for him. After almost 4 months of weekly sessions, I can now kind of kick one foot forward and have some sensation on that side. I'm getting closer every week to being able to kneel using a brace and a shortened crutch. Our photographer friends will bring the crutch along with their gear. The plan is to have us face away from each other for some artsy photos on the bridge, and when he looks away, the husband will help me out of the chair and into position. Then they'll have him turn around to see me down on one knee, holding the ring. I know he'll say yes. We're already married in every way that matters, but I'm still so nervous. I don't even know why, but just thinking about it makes me sweat. As for the wedding gift, it's been 4 years in the making, though I had to start over recently. I write poetry and short stories, which he didn't even know until about a year ago. Since then, I've given him 2 poems I wrote about him. What he doesn't know is that I've been writing about him since we first became friends. I had started transcribing all those pieces into 1 journal, then 2, then 3. But my old roommate stole them when she moved out. I didn't care about the money or the meds she took, but losing those journals broke my heart. So I started over in June and have almost filled a new one already. I write about him almost every day. I'm no master writer, but my plan is to keep writing until our wedding day in 2 years, probably borrowing some lines from my vows, and then bind them all together as a gift for him. People always say they love their partner more than words can describe, but I've written literally countless words about this man, and I still haven't found any that fully capture what I feel for him. I know these 2 gestures are kind of cheesy, and I just hope he won't be upset that I kept the therapy a secret. All I want, for the rest of my life, is to make him as happy as I possibly can. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, activate the notification bell, and share a similar story or anything you'd like to say in the comments. See you next time.